Hello and welcome to a new episode of 360 English. Today we are going to discuss about the VAULD story. Hope all of you know about the VAULD story nowadays, because for the past couple of years, many people entered into stock markets and some of them have ventured into more profitable investment arenas like crypto. So one of the dominant crypto exchange, especially in India, that was promoted, that was VAULD. So recently, VAULD faces a lot of issues eventually that affected the VAULD investors also. So today we are trying to unfold the story of VAULD and how investors are being affected and now what investors can do. So stay tuned, keep watching. So today we are going to discuss about a few points. One is what is VAULD and its background, and how the VAULD, this crypto exchange, has become one of the favorite exchange there in India. How Indians' money pumped into that exchange, though a number of crypto exchanges were available. Second point is how we can spun off the two terms called technology and finance, because technology, when married with finance, that's what basically cryptocurrency. And the third point is, if you are a crypto exchange user or a crypto investor there in VAULD, what best you can expect in the present scenario, or what you have to do now. And the final one is the key takeaways. What this particular scenario happened to VAULD teaches the investors. So first thing first, let's start with the VAULD story. So VAULD, it's founded in 2018 by Darshan Baticha and Sanju Kurian, and it was initially called as the Bank of Holders. So this platform basically offers the crypto exchange in nature. Apart from that, lending and borrowing of crypto, that also done. So it's hardly three and a half year old platform, and many money that has been pumped into it. The key takeaways from the description is both the founders are Indians and they have incorporated the company there in the Singapore. Why Singapore? We know that in Singapore the corporate tax, that's very less, no capital gain tax at all. Above all, reduced withholding tax on foreign infused funds and easy to liquidate. In India, it's a bit difficult to liquidate a company, especially that's a public limited company or even the public limited company itself. But on the other hand, in Singapore, that looks pretty easy as a part of investor-friendly decisions. So many of fintech, they consider Singapore as a safe havens for them. Obviously, we can't forget that Singapore is considered as one of the easiest place to do business. We know that VAULD recently, they told that they are no longer taking any withdrawals. That means if you want to sell your crypto and take a payout or withdraw it as a fiat currency, the crypto exchange is not willing to pay you the money. Why so? In the official press release, VAULD says, because of the unprecedented drop in crypto prices, sales requests are flooding, so they have stopped accepting the requests, and for time being, they have ceased the transactions. That's in short. If you summarize, we can tell that if you are an investor in any of the cryptocurrency, you can't convert that into cash. It's almost like you are trying to sell a penny stock where there is no buyers. Here, the only difference is we don't know about buyers or buyer depth, but on the other hand, the exchange is not permitting you to sell it. Neither the exchange is not permitting you to take your holdings to another exchange. So in that way, investors got trapped. We can't forget the fact that many crypto exchanges, they went into bankrupt. Almost a 10-year-old crypto hedge funds like Three Arrows Capital, they filed the bankruptcy. They initiated the bankruptcy process. So the things are somewhat not that good in that scenario. Now let's think what happened in India. Obviously, India government imposed 1% TDS. That took out some of the attraction of crypto investments. That's a fact. Apart from that, when the global economy went down, obviously people start to withdraw money from the fancy investment arenas. So crypto still considered as a fancy investment arena. So a large scale withdrawal has been happened from all the cryptocurrencies that eventually led to a drastic fall in crypto prices. Now we just compare the very same scenario with stock exchange. If you bought Reliance Industries Limited for 2000 rupees and assume that many investors they want to go out of the stock market by liquidating as money, what happens? A lot of sellers will flood into the market. Buyers will be less. So obviously the price will fall down drastically. But still, you can sell your security. Though the price is less, you will get it. Apart from circuit breakers, none will prevent you from selling the security and liquidizing that into cash. So in this scenario only, basically these kind of crypto exchanges, when they prevent their investors from selling, they raises the eyebrows. That's something like very dubious in nature. It is assumed that when you buy a Bitcoin from VAULD, it is assumed that that Bitcoin on behalf of you, it's with VAULD. So whatever may be the price, though that came from 48 lakhs to 1 lakh, still that's there. One buyer may be there. You can sell that for 1 lakh and the exchange is supposed to give you back that 1 lakh to you. But why the exchange is denying such scenario? There only people raise the doubts. Are these exchanges basically buying the cryptocurrencies or not? Or are they taking the money and using for some other purpose? Or are they taking the money and do the preparatory trading? If they do so, what happens? A drastic fall in the crypto prices that eventually made a lot of loss to the trader. And as usual, just like any finance company, when they go into heavy losses, they will be unable to pay back the money. Eventually leads to bankruptcy. Neither anyone nor VAULD itself, they are unable to give a clear answer to this. Rather than giving some hopes to the investors, says that we are trying to restructure the entire process and soon it will find the results. Now let's have a look on how this cryptocurrency or this VAULD especially that has become very popular in India. We know that the past 1 year or 1.5 years, almost 80% of the YouTubers or the so-called influencers, they have marketed or given hype on VAULD just like anything. Many influencers, they give a hype that this may be the one and only exchange, crypto exchange exists here. VAULD has flourished only through YouTube influencers and Instagram influencers. Many reputed people, they themselves also claimed that this is the most reputed platforms, or at any point of time the crypto may not touch its loss. Still everyone wonder on what basis these people made those claims other than the promotion funds that may be offered by VAULD. Poor investors, those who are following these investors, they had become the prey of illiquidity. That's why I want to tell you, because we don't know whether VAULD will come back and function as usual. At least we can find that that's a cause called illiquidity exists there. The investors are finding it difficult to liquidate their asset. That's equivalent to losing the asset. There only the concern of calling this particular asset class as currency become questionable. Currency should be liquidizable at any point of time. That shows the credibility of currency. If you are unable to liquidate a currency, means that's not at all a currency, but just as an element to bet, nothing more. Other factor was about inducing the FOMO factor among the investors. FOMO means fear of missing out. You may have a feeling that if I won't buy the cryptocurrency or any of these cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum or any such things today, if that costs 1 lakh rupees, after 2 months it may be 1 crore. So I may miss out from this rally. So as early as possible, let me jump into that and try to capture those things as much as I can. That's the form that also being created in the market. That's the main reason why people who came to the stock market in the past couple of years, they shut off this stock market and took money from the stock market and invested in the cryptos. Fortunately or unfortunately, they lost their liquidity. On the other hand, many people they claim that this is a future technology. I have no dispute on that. But we should try to understand one thing. Technology is different, finance is different. This technology may be a future technology, but unfortunately, cryptocurrency is just one application of blockchain. So only time should tell whether this particular application will sustain here or not. Blockchain technology may survive here, but we are not sure about the cryptocurrency. In my graduation period, when you think about electrical engineering, high voltage engineering was considered as one of the hottest topics. That time everyone told that that is the future of electrical engineering. Later what happened? That's history. So in short, the cryptocurrency mania, especially this VAULD, collected the investors as well as money just through the influencers' influence, and cryptocurrency gained its price, not value, just because of the demand arised due to this. It's a media hype demand. Once a fear triggers, that will tumble down. That's what happened. Because there is no intrinsic value for this particular blockchain application now. The second point is, what's the inference of incapability of payments? Other thing people used to proclaim about the investors, the so-called celebrity investors on a particular company. So when you think about a company, and when that particular company proclaims that we have a few big investors with us. In the case of VAULD, PayPal founder also is an investor. So naturally people will think that this is a very credible platform, and moreover, this will not go into bankruptcy at any time. But it's a fact that many people, when they have money, big investors, they invest small or bigger chunks of the money in several business, just like the way we invest in different stocks. Even we invest in penny stocks. We don't have the trust on that, but still we are just trying our luck. Similar to that, some of these bigger investors, they will invest in some companies. That doesn't mean that that company is being assured by that particular investor. So in future also, if someone says that the investor of this company is so and so bigger investors, never fall into the trap of such gimmicks. Even in VAULD website itself, they have given a lot of disclaimers. If anyone, any of the investors go through those disclaimers, no one will invest in crypto. We know that we give agree in everything. But just for the sake of securing themselves legally or to get a legal immunity, these kind of companies, they gave disclaimers. So I'll just go through the disclaimer given in the VAULD website. And among this, what I found very awkward is about the risk of account freeze. So naturally we know that there will be a risk of account freeze in the case of security markets also, but that's based on certain well-laid rules and regulation by the SEBI as well as Ministry of Finance. Here two things that they have told is not at all investor friendly. The fourth point, that is a risk of account freeze, and the seventh point, conflicts of interest. The fourth point, risk of account freeze, says that VAULD may freeze your account, including any digital assets wallet and any sub-account, in event that you are believed to be engaged in suspicious and fraudulent activities, or to be in breach of any of the terms and conditions. If your account is frozen, you will not be able to trade or to make transfers to or from your account. This may result in the closure of your open orders. But they are not telling about whether they will make the equivalent payouts to the investor or not. So that is a very vague risk of account freeze. Terms and conditions also not given. So that means at any point of time, whether the market crashed or not, VAULD has the authority to freeze your account and take your assets, as long as they are saying nothing about the liquidity and transfer of funds. 7 point says that conflicts of interest. VAULD and its associates have certain actual or potential conflicts of interest related to the decision to support or not support a digital asset, or increase or decrease the scope of the services made available for such digital assets. VAULD may trade or operate businesses that trade in the peer-to-peer market and use other services on a proprietary basis or on behalf of others. These offers and trades are not distinguished from other offers and trades or peer-to-peer market. So in short, what they are saying is, at any point of time, the investor's assets may be forfeited and the investor need to comply with their interests. You should understand that that's not the interest of government or the regulatory body laid down by the government. It's the interest of a private company, that too incorporated there in the US. So poor investors, innocent investors, they hardly read any fine prints. This costs a lot to them. Other thing is about the lending and borrowing schemes. We should understand one thing, that NSE took almost 15 years to make the guidelines or framework for security lending and borrowing. A company which was incorporated just 3 years back, they started the process of lending and borrowing for a highly volatile asset class, that too unregulated. When you ask about cryptocurrency, everyone says that that's not illegal, but that is unregulated. What does it mean? Making money by buying and selling the cryptocurrency is not considered as a crime. But on the other hand, none of the regulatories or government will not take the assurance or take necessary steps to ensure the interest of the investors. So now the question is, what the vault investors need to do. I doubt any legal actions that can be initiated will yield results, because there are certain limitations to sue a company which has not incorporated in India. On the other hand, nothing wrong in sending individual mails to the company, inquiry at vault.com, ask them to transfer your crypto to some other wallets. I doubt that also will happen, but still try your luck. For the sake of your peace of mind, nothing wrong in sending mails or tweets tagging Ministry of Finance, though they are not obliged to ensure the interest of the investors, I mean crypto investors. But still, you can try your best. So finally, what are the learnings, what are the takeaways of this particular vault incident? First one is, never enter into a financial market or financial security unless and until that got matured. For example, in the case of stock market also, stock market has been evolved through the years. A lot of loopholes has been found and that has been fixed. That took longer time to fix those loopholes. So now somewhat that's a matured one. So never try your luck in an immature market or a security, because it's your money, that's hard-earned money. Once it's been matured, you can invest. A matured investor should not go after the form of failing, fear of missing out. That's the first learning from this incident. Second one is, whenever you invest in some company, some instruments, some asset class, make sure that there is an option to liquidize it at any point of time. The money you are not getting for your need, that's almost like you are losing it. Just like the way justice delayed is justice denied. If you are in need of funds today, what's the need of getting that funds after 10 years? Third one, many people will try to convince you with many things with a lot of justification. Ultimately, it's your money. You have to decide. You have to decide your fate. You have to decide your decisions on investment. Use your common sense before investing. When in the case of our company also, we are getting almost 15 to 20 mails daily to promote various companies in crypto or to with some small brokers, stock brokers itself, to different types of other financial products. But we have a well-laid policy, something like, unless and until that's convincing to us, or if we are not investing as per our conviction, we will not promote it. That's as simple as that. Because the promotional money that we may gain may not be sufficient enough to repair the damage caused to our reputation. So, winding up this session, I sincerely wish right from my heart to all the investors involved in this crypto saga could able to retrieve their funds at the earliest. And see you in the next episode. Till then, bye from Anup.